Welcome back to the Organic Chemistry Reaction app Devlog. This devlog journals my efforts to make the Organic Chemistry Reaction app, OCRA. The app is currently available on itch.io and on Google Play if you'd like to check them out, and I'm continuing to improve on it. And last time I covered the first bit of information that I'm going to be presenting as a poster at the Canadian Chemistry Conference this year. So this time I'm going to continue my pitch, I guess. And yeah, last time what I covered was what's available on the Google Play Store in terms of chemistry apps, and more specifically, chemistry practice apps. My findings were that there is a large focus on so-called studying apps, which includes notes or textbooks, lectures, and practicing in the form of multiple choice quizzes, flashcards, or textbook questions. So that's most of what it is sort of classroom studying apps. And I think that's a problem. Stated more clearly, the problem in terms of availability is that too many apps are designed for students and not enough apps are designed for chemists. What I mean is that the apps are designed to focus on studying and practicing for tests. The target audience is students who are in a chemistry class and who think these apps will help them pass the class. And then once they're done the class, they will uninstall the apps because they served their purpose and they're done with it. And nobody actually wants to use these apps. They're boring, frankly. No chemist would want to use these apps either, which makes sense. They're designed for students, not for chemists. So what we need is an app for chemists to practice, something that chemists will want to play, something that's authentically chemistry, not authentically classroom. An app that is designed for chemists would also greatly benefit students, since it should cover the same concepts, and it should actually be better for them because it gives them the real chemistry experience, the experience that a chemist would have. So it would show them how chemists would actually be in the real world, I guess. They should be treated not as students, but as chemists in training. And so having something that's actually designed for chemists that chemists would want to use, it's a good thing, not just for the chemists, but also for students, in my opinion. So that's the problem with availability. But there's a different problem with design, which is how do you make an app that is both real chemistry and fun? And as I see it, there are two traps with educational design. The first trap is what we see with the apps that were available that I covered last time. When there's too much focus on the education, then the so-called game just ends up being quizzes, and it's not fun, it's not boring, it's just drilling knowledge into your head. So that's the first trap. The second trap is on the other end, when you focus too much on the game and it ends up not being educational. I did talk about a couple of examples of games last time, which are chemistry-inspired games, but not really for practice. I don't think that is exactly this category, but some of them might be. So on the slide actually is a quote I took from Reddit. So somebody posted recently their chemistry education game, and this was part of one person's feedback. Many games fall into the trap of emphasizing gameplay mechanics over the chemistry theory. So what does this look like in practice? Well, imagine a game where your goal is to do a chemical reaction. And to do the reaction, you need to get the reagents. Fair enough. But to get the reagents, you have to jump on moving platforms over a spike pit. And if you fall into the spike pit, you lose and you have to start over. But wait a sec. Can you remind me exactly what part of chemistry involves jumping on platforms over spike pits and dying? None? Oh, it's actually just a generic platforming game. Sure, the treasure that you collect is a reagent, but it could just as easily be a key or a gem or whatever, right? It's a chemistry-themed platforming game, and that's the second trap, where it's you act like it's an educational game, but it's actually just a platforming game in disguise, and probably it's a bad platforming game because you weren't actually trying to make a platforming game. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm being a little bit harsh. Anyway, we need to find a way to make a game that is both authentic chemistry and also fun. We need to avoid these two traps and I guess find a middle ground. Here's the thing though. Reaction mechanisms are already a game. So here's an example of a game. It's called Flow Free. And what do you do in this game? You draw lines from one object to another. And you keep doing that until you win. If you draw the wrong line, you get it wrong, right? But if you draw the right line, you get it right and you're good to go. And this is a very, very common mechanic in cell phone games. You draw lines between objects, right? I'm just using Flow Free as an example because I like this game and I've played it more than I should have. Here's another game. It's the chess.com chess app. And this is a chess puzzle where you draw lines from one object to another. In this case, it's from the rook to the a2 square. And it's fun, right? So that's what apps are, or app games, I should say. App games are is basically just drawing lines from one object to another on a screen. So here's a chemistry reaction mechanism. What do you do for a mechanism? You draw lines from one object to another. The nucleophile to the electrophile, and then the bond from the electrophile to the leaving group goes to the leaving group, right? You're drawing lines from one object to another. It's the exact same gameplay as real cell phone games like Flow Free, like the chess app, like many others. And people play those games for fun. So it seems to me like reaction mechanisms can be fun too. It's already the same game mechanic. We don't need to make a quiz. We don't need to add any unnecessary gameplay elements like a spike pit or platforms. It's already there. This is real chemistry, and it's a real game. We don't need to change it. And that chess comparison can go further. Chess puzzles aren't just a fun side game. They're actually an integral component of a modern chess training regimen. Beginners play puzzles. Experts play puzzles. Grandmasters play puzzles. And they all do it to improve at chess. It's not the only thing they do, but it's a critical component of their training to target one specific aspect of chess, tactics. They have other things to practice, opening theory and like endgame theory, whatnot. But the chess puzzles do chess tactics, and that's an important part of chess. And chess players of all skill levels do chess puzzles to get better at tactics. And another thing about chess puzzles that I find interesting is that it's an advanced enough system so that the chess puzzle games can give players puzzles that are appropriate for their ratings. So why not the same for chemistry? You know, mechanism puzzles can become an integral component of chemistry education. It's not the only thing to learn. It focuses on one specific aspects of chemistry, which is, you know, reaction theory and mechanisms, I guess. And maybe, of course, if we do it right, we can give chemists puzzles that are appropriate to their ratings. Now that is a game that chemists would want to play. That is a game that chemists would use to maintain and improve their knowledge of chemistry, while hopefully having fun as well. And that's the game I'm trying to make. So that covers what I guess would be part 2 of my poster, of course with a bit more discussion than will actually be there for the poster. I have a bit more of a soapbox to stand on here, so I rant a little bit. But yeah, I think next time I'll wrap it up and just sort of cover what my app does and what my app could do in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching.